Hello everyone, and welcome to Soul GPS, where we learn to take our life back in our hands after narcissistic abuse. Today I wanted to address the topic of hoovering, as many of you have written to me with some stories, examples of what you're going through currently, and also questions as to how to cope. First, let me tell you about the word hoovering and where does it come from. Many of you may already know this, but for those of you who don't, hoovering is a word that is based on the brand of vacuum cleaners called Hoover, and it basically means that the narcissist, by contacting you, is trying to suck you back into the relationship. Why do they do this? Well, it is not for the reasons you may want to believe, because the pain from the breakup often makes us want to believe that it didn't really happen, or maybe this person really didn't mean it, and so on. It is unfortunately a form of denial that we slip into without wanting to go through all of this pain and all of that it really means. You know, the truth sometimes can be really difficult to process all at once, which is why we tend to slip back into the denial. But the sooner we get over the denial, the better for us, because it will allow us to move forward in our life and actually have a beautiful life, which is something that we all really deserve. So why do the narcissists hoover? There can be many reasons, but all of them really come down to one word that I would like you to hear and let sink in. And the word is win. They want to win. The whole thing of people without conscience is that the relationships to them are like playing a game on a chessboard. Life is about gaining the things that they want. They live their lives for themselves, and they get in relationships because they know that that is a sure way of them to get things that they want, either directly from you or using you as a proxy for getting it for them. For instance, by doing work for them, by opening doors of opportunities for them, you know, by basically giving them access to the world that they want to be a part of. So keep that in mind. Also, it's of course getting supply taken out directly from you in the form of energy, sex, admiration, time. Also being just their plaything, you know, just having somebody to distract them from their own sense of, I don't know what that could be when they're on their own. I'm not sure what they're thinking, but it's probably not very pretty, which is why they tend to seek distraction. They tend to surround themselves with other people so that they don't really sit with themselves and really process what is going on. I don't think they're very capable of self-reflection. So plaything is one. The reason why they're reaching out to you, and you know, even after they have either discarded you or you have left on your own, is because they are just bored. They don't want to deal with whatever it is that they need to be dealing with in their life, and they just want distraction. They want other people to do things for them. The other reason might be simply winning, and it's the fact that their ego has been terribly bruised by the fact that you left the relationship first, and that is extremely common. And that's where you get the narcissist to come up with a variety of strategies, communication strategies, to send you an email, a text, make a phone call, leave you a voicemail, or use other people to contact you and talk to you. And in the direct communication especially, what tends to happen when you have you know, a very skillful type of narcissist, particularly with a bit of like a sociopathic, psychopathic bent, is that they don't even you know, care so much about having another round with you for the purpose of just playing, but it's more about getting back at you for how dared you be the one who has left sooner, who has left before they had the chance to discard you in the process of demeaning you and degrading you. So expect all sorts of colorful communication coming through, such as, you know, God, I've been thinking about you, I miss you, or I was listening to this song the other day and it reminded me of you. You know, sending you things that on purpose evoke emotion in you. It's also a way of them to know and feel like they still have control over you, because I think that somehow they're having the ability to sense that as you're reading this email, as you are taking in their words, which is like spells basically, which is why we spell our words, right? It's like they're putting a spell on you, and you're reading those words, and those words are sinking in, and it's a way of them to wield energetic control over you. It is extremely dangerous, and that's why no contact is very much so advised. The reason why is because when you expose yourself to these words, they tend to haunt you then for long periods of time afterwards. So it can take days, weeks. It can set back our healing journey by sometimes weeks or months of us having to yet again have to go through the painstaking process of remembering all the evil that they have caused us, remembering about all the different instances, having to overwrite the desire of the brain of wanting to not remember the bad stuff and only focus on the good stuff. And oftentimes their communication is peppered with a form of manipulation tactic called rationalization, and especially when they have the ability to write things down, it allows them to really put the right words, you know, maybe reread the email before they send it to you, and, you know, make sure that all the keywords are in there, all the emotional triggers are in there, because remember, they have studied you, they know who you are, they have studied humanity really for a majority of their life, because most likely since they were young, they knew that they were different. They didn't feel the empathy, that they didn't have the conscience or the sense of remorse for having done bad things that other people did. So in order not to be found out, which most likely they were early on, and they've been probably their parents, you know, or someone tried to correct them and say that that's wrong way of being, they have learned to hide those abilities, if that could be called an ability, right? Hide it by acting as if they were just like other people. So they have you figured out quite well, you know. I remember one sociopath, when I was trying to explain something to them that they were doing, they kept on using a different tactical diversion. So they kept on diverting me to a different subject, and finally they said, I can read you like an open book. And that kind of freaked me out. That actually stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, whoa, what if that is actually true? And the looking back at the interactions that I had with this person made me realize that it's actually true. They do, and they keep on sort of tripping me up and moving me like down a certain trajectory that they want me to go down, so that I can be better manipulated. This was when I was in my early 20s, and it ended up actually making me waste so many years being in the vicinity of this person, instead of using that time towards my own self-development and pursuing the things that I wanted to do. So this brings me to the point that, you know, it is really difficult to go no contact. I want to acknowledge this. It's not easy, because part of us really wants to think that we want to make peace. We want to somehow put this issue to bed. We want to complete it. And there's no completion in a relationship with narcissists, unfortunately. So we get haunted by this, right? But then finally, let's say after weeks, months of work on ourselves, we get hoovered. And then, so that's part of our mind is like, well, you want it to be, to work. It's because being single and in this world, you know, that is just, it's pretty oppressive. It's really difficult. Like when you have that partner, suddenly your power gets, you know, your potential gets much bigger, but not when this partner is abusive, not if this person is toxic. Then it only may seem like you're now the power of two, right? Like you now have somebody to lean on, and if bad things happen outside of home, you come home and you have that person there, be there for you. Well, all the while you think that that's what's happening, they're actually watching your behavior, they're studying your behavior, looking for your vulnerabilities, which they can use against you. So that's really dangerous. It's much better actually to be on your own and really get to know yourself and become a sovereign being on your own. Sovereign meaning not enslaved by another person's will, but really functioning as your own independent, free individual, which is a process. Because again, as I tie all these videos into the macro level, we're living in a society that likes to usurp other people's freedoms and compromise us so that we follow. We're easier to control and go down that pathway that they have kind of like, set up for us, so that we fall into all the different societal traps in which the system now sucks all the energy out of us. We end up working, spending years in slave jobs, not enjoying what we do, all the while the world gets polluted. We wage wars for no reason, based on lies and this and this and that. Well, not to get down that trajectory, but it's very similar to what happens in a narcissistic relationship. So sovereignty is key, and that's what being solo and being on your own it can teach you, which is why I also advise taking at least a year off after having one of those relationships to really get to know yourself. And yes, it is going to be difficult, and yes, you're going to have to face your greatest fears. You're going to have to do a lot of work on yourself, but that is the initiation towards the truth that will then allow you to have the strength and power to go into the world and really do positive things for the society. And hopefully together we can help to turn this Titanic that is headed for collision around. So sovereignty is key. It is much better to be on your own than it is to be in a toxic relationship. But again, these people are super skilled at making us believe that they are really our friends, they're really there for us, and so they have created this illusion throughout the relationship. It almost doesn't matter how long the relationship was. So some of us, or some of you I'm hearing from, it's like a month can devastate us. Sometimes it's 30, 40 years of being with that person. I have so much respect for all of you who have had the ability to just survive that. You are so strong. I have so much respect for you. So as you shed the weight of having to put up with this toxicity, you're going to soar. But unfortunately, there is no way for us to go from A to Z in a blink of an eye. We're going to have to go through this process of transformation that's going to have to happen within first, which will allow us to really set things straight. Remodel the house, rebuild the internal temple from the beginning, create balance in our thinking between the left and the right, between the intuitive and the assertive. Right, it's really important that we do that. That's what that's going to afford us. So when we allow the hoovering to come in and sabotage that healing, it can really be extremely devastating and dangerous, right? Not only in the moment do we experience the physical sensations of what it's like to be again in the presence of that person, where our body, the heart starts to pound, we begin to sweat, stomach hurts, all the hormones begin to pump again, where get inundated with that same cocktail. It's like the cells remember that again, and it's like we're back in that situation. And then there's that other part of us that wants to so believe that this was real, that they have changed, that they really want us back, and this and that. Do not fall for this trap. The only way you can know that this person really genuinely wants change and so on, that's going to have to take some time. They're going to have to really try to prove to yourself, to you, that they have really, and I wouldn't honestly even go there, because that is putting yourself through so much trial, and you're going to have to be so strong, because before you know it, they're going to basically start love bombing you again and falling back into the same way of being. So I don't quite buy it. There are some videos on YouTube that if you are interested in looking into that, you know, how to test whether this person may change, I would research that. But me personally, I would err on the side, just block these people. Do not let them back into your life, and really focus on yourself, because maybe even if they do get you back into the relationship and it's nice for a while, and I've been through that process myself, sooner or later the pendulum is going to swing back. You're going to fall into your own old ways, most likely too, that you're going to be more trusting, you're going to start doing things for them that they want you to do, and so on. So the old dynamic will settle back in, and then you will be in another round of abuse. You're going to be put through this process one more time, probably worse, because the abuse tends to actually escalate. It tends to get worse over time, because these people, they seek thrills. They really get off on dopamine high, and they get this dopamine high when they actually abuse other people, and they create trauma, similar, right? They create trauma in you, and they watch you reeling in pain. That's when they get really excited. They feel like, you know, they have an influence over their environment. They have control, and they can wield power over other people. It is evil. It is really, really evil. So I would not subject yourself to this. And in fact, what I would do, you know, if I were you, is I would just completely block these people from having the ability to contact you on email, on all of your social media. Also block their friends, because oftentimes what happens is they can try to hoover you by proxy, by sending their flying monkeys, you know, other people to try to convince you that you should get back to being with them. So that is a common practice, you know. Also, they may be contacting you around holidays, or say you have a child that they have gotten close with, you know, to send birthday wishes or something like that. You know, it's about tugging at your heartstrings. It's about provoking an emotional reaction in you, and that's a way of them feeling like they have a control over you. That's like the game just keeps going on. Just keeps going on. So you need to be really strong and be able to see right through this. It's a way of them also to putting on a really fake performance that they have probably also practiced, because having been away from you for a while, they have had some time to think. They know what it is that you have responded to the most, so they're going to craft a message, craft a way to get a hold of you, get in touch with you, that is going to really go straight for the heart, straight for the so-called jugular, right? Just like get you right here, so to make you bleed. So no good can come out of hoovering ultimately, because if you read that email, and if you do respond, obviously it's probably most likely inviting a disaster back into your life. It's like begging to be abused again. Whereas if you read it but you don't respond, it's for them to know it's like they energetically sense that they have had the ability to bring you down, push you down, and so they're having sort of like a satisfaction this way. And the key of what to do is to, by no contact, what I mean is you do not even look at that email. You don't even look at it. You send it straight into your junk mail. And that's what the blocking is for, because again, it is very dangerous. It's a way of them of planting seeds when you read that message, which is probably riddled with all sorts of traps and ways to make you feel a certain way, that you then take into your world, you then take into your daily life, and you keep thinking about it. You're going to experience flashbacks. They're going to haunt you. This happened to me. I was actually going on a trip somewhere. I got an email, and my whole trip was practically ruined, because all I was doing is thinking about this email, and what was I doing the right thing, was I doing the wrong thing? And ultimately I didn't reply. My emotions went back down. It took about another month or two for my emotions to resettle. So it was kind of like going back to square one at that point. So it was really unhealthy. It was the wrong thing to have done, to have read this email. And I actually, looking back, if I could have changed something, I would have not read it. So after that, I made sure to take the necessary steps in order to prevent that from ever happening again. So you don't want to respond. You don't want to have any contact. You know, again, it's really difficult. I understand that it feels really difficult to be on your own. The loneliness can be very difficult, can be very devastating, but take it as an ability. It's like a universe's invitation to teach you how to be on your own. And that's something we all need to learn, really. To be with ourselves, to understand ourselves, to have that process of self-discovery in order for us to know who it is that we really are and what it is that we really want and need in our life. And then once we commence that healing and once we go through the process, that is also a preparation for a real true relationship that is based on mutual self-respect, in mutual understanding, and meeting the kind of person that is going to really be there for you. And all that training that you have gone through by being with a narcissist really is a great training in discernment in order for you to then see when somebody else is doing that to you again. Your body will react. Your body will tell you. That's why I always talk about listening to the body, because it is your internal compass. It is your internal GPS. The body doesn't lie. There's so many processes going on within our flesh every single moment of our life. Trillions of chemical reactions. Our body really sensing what is happening, feeding the information back into us so we can interpret it. So many of us are disconnected from our bodies, and this is a good way to forge that reconnection, because our body can really act as a fantastic resonator of reality to let us know what's really happening, to prevent us from falling into the traps of the narcissist. And it's not just the singular individual narcissist that we encounter in our world. It is also the systems that have been built in order to further support that form of abuse happening on a national social scale. That's going to make you immune to that. And once you do not comply with the narcissistic worldview, once you no longer comply with what it is that they want from you, and that whole state of hypnosis that is put on us on a daily basis, then you're truly free. You can be truly free, and then you can start connecting with other free individuals and building a beautiful life for yourself. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take some time, and I just want to encourage you and tell you that this is the highway. This is the way you want to go. You want to go back within to yourself, say no to the narcissistic hoovering, stay away from that toxicity in order to create a space of safety for yourself, which is going to be necessary in your healing process. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions, concerns, please write to me. Also comment on the video to let other people know perhaps how it is that you're dealing with hoovering. You know, maybe there are some things you have discovered yourself in your own journey that is not out there and it's not in the videos I have not mentioned. Please share, please let us know. Also, I am currently taking on more clients. I have settled in here in Croatia, so if you guys are looking for personal Skype sessions with me, I am now available, and you can send an email to the email down below that is in the description video, and let me know what your needs are, and I will write back to you and let you know what is my menu and what it is that how I can possibly help you in your healing and to take you to the next level of your own healing journey. So I'm here to support you. I hope that this video helped you. I'm sending you all the best, lots of love, and the reminder to always let your inner compass guide you in your life's journey. Sending you my best, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.